with SaunaSpace, when you use near-infrared light and you couple that at the same time in the same cell, you create this like magical synergy between the light and the heat therapy that makes both of them more effective and better. And so if we're talking about the cell level, you asked me like, well, what's going on in sauna and how does that detoxify you? Number one thing is when you heat up the cell 3 degrees, you get heat shock protein production. And heat shock proteins directly make cellular detoxification more efficient, number one. But number two, they have a rebuilding effect because they fix misfolded proteins and they move proteins around and put them in the right places so you have the right concentrations. And they actually go outside of the cell as well and do the same thing on the outside of the cell. And that is linked to improving signaling, whether it's calcium signaling or like insulin signaling and stuff on the outside of the cell. You know, proteins are sort of the blue collar workers of every aspect of the body. And so the sauna is having a detoxifying effect and an optimizing effect. And it has different interplays too with the light therapy, which the light therapy itself is increasing cellular energy and having a nitric oxide release, which has beneficial immune effects. But then it's all working in conjunction with these reactive oxygen species that are produced to correct your DNA, correct your gene transcription, produce anti-inflammatory mediators, get growth factor things that are produced. And then the heat therapy, aside from the heat shock proteins, like you mentioned, the nerve cells increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor. That's like miracle grow for your brain. But it also has benefits to, for example, healing us from EMF toxicity. You get vascular shear stress, and then you get BH4 production, tetrahydrobiopterin, which reduces peroxynitrite. And peroxynitrite is an oxidative stress nasty molecule that's produced in general through oxidative stress, but also through EMF stress. And the peroxynitrite cycle has a really nefarious way, slowly, of causing DNA damage, just like X-rays, and just like any sort of ionizing radiation has directly in the cell. So in 3 days, peroxynitrite causes this similar mutations to the DNA as an X-ray would immediately. And so we're getting that from all the cell phone signals, all this other stuff. And so here we have just a few examples of how a sauna therapy and photobiomodulation are doing such a wide array of things that the best way to sum it up is cellular reoptimization. We're going in and making things work better, getting the poisons out, and then correcting all that damage and that malformation and that degradation that happened slowly but surely.